if you are here in the States, I am super happy that you're with us today. Give me a second. Let me make sure everything is set up and started. Perfect. Okay. So Sammy is going to be with me today, helping me with the live as we go through, because I'm sure I'm going to get questions. We're going to do a couple of housekeeping things first off this morning, because there's a lot of things that I need to kind of explain about the pattern, about the project, thread I'm going to be using, things like that. So if you think I talk entirely too much in some of my videos, you may just want to zoom past for a little bit, but you're going to miss out on some things that you need to know. So first thing, for the project today, you're going to need 4 colors of a size 11 Delica bead. And I'm going to go over where those color things are at as we go through. The second thing, I would make them 4 very different colors. Do not make them in the same colors, like color family, or do them very, very, very different on this first one that you make. I would not try to bead with me as I go through this project, because I'm going to go at my pace, which is going to be a little bit of a quicker pace, because you have the pattern and you will have the video that after the live you can stop and pause it. So unless you are a fast beader, I don't recommend that you bead along with me, but rather watch the techniques, watch what I'm doing, and then go from there. Third thing, it's going to behoove you to use a size 12 beading needle and your favorite beading thread. Now, with that being said, one of the issues that you are going to have is that if you are a tight stitcher like I am, if you try to use something like your dragon thread, your fire line, something like that, if you're a tight stitcher, it's going to be really, really tight, and you are not going to have a flat star. You're going to have a wavy star. Okay? We don't want that unless you do want that. We want a flat star. So I personally would normally need to use like a 1G, a KO, a NYMO thread, anything like that, a softer thread. Because we've just got it in, we've actually already sold it out, but I have more on the way, but I want to test it. I'm going to be using the Echelon Fire today. They say this is supposedly going to be a good option for nanofill, which they no longer make. So I'm going to test it out and see if it's a little bit softer. The first thing that I can tell you automatically, they say that it is fused and braided. It is definitely braided, because unlike Fireline where it feels very smooth, you can feel the braid on this. The issue that you have with the braid that I found already is threading a size 12 beading needle. It's so tight you literally hear the needle passing through around the braid. So size 10 needle I think would be great. That size 12 needle, it's going to be a little tight. So I may end up changing threads. I don't know. It's either going to come out great or come out a hot mess using the Echelon Fire. So I'm testing it. We're going to see. The other thing, I linked in all of the email, everything that I could link in, the pattern, the free pattern, okay? This project is being taught exclusively given, thanks to Kate McKinnon. Kate is the founder, co-writer of Contemporary Geometric Beadwork. This pattern is not a completed 100% edited pattern, because of the fact that this pattern is going to be in the new book that's coming out hopefully later this year or early next year, Contemporary Geometric Beadwork Volume 3. I just got back a few weeks ago from the Contemporary Geometric Beadwork Retreat. It was a blast, an absolute fun time. If any of you get a chance to go and you are an advanced beader, I highly suggest it, because you will really, really, really enjoy it. But with that being said, I kind of need to go over some things about the pattern and how to read the pattern and be successful with the pattern. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and so if you get motion sickness, look away for just a moment while I flip that camera around and get us in place. India says, can you use your size 6 dragon thread? Size 6 dragon thread. Again, India, you can use whatever thread you want. Just beware of the tension issue that you may have when you're working with your project. If it starts to get wavy, you know your tension is going to be incredibly tight. So the first thing, page 1 of your pattern here, you will see that you have all of this graph. Okay, this is going to be after you've made your first project. This is going to be a way that you can be able to go in and create your own color schemes or your own designs using these patterns, and they are done by Karen Benningfield. So that is awesome there. That's page 1. Page 2 is going to be, again, this is not a fully, this is draft, okay? This is going to have page numbers to it here of ways that you can create some of these things. Page 3 is some information on work hexagons, hexagon decreases, triangle increases. These are things that we're going to be using in the pattern today. Page 4, this is going to be that after you complete the first one, okay, I don't suggest going by this chart the first time you make one of these, all right? This is a quick, I guess, I don't know the best way to say it, a quick chart for those who are a little bit more of an advanced beader and are really good with less words. This is going to be what you want, all right? This is going to be each round, what you're going to be adding in those rounds, things like that, okay? So I do not suggest you start with this one, okay? So that is page 4. Page 5, this is where we need to talk about your colors. Okay, you are using 4 colors of a size 11 Delica bead. A is going to be your spine, what I call the spine of the piece. So anywhere you have these increases here, that is going to be where your A bead is going to lie. And actually, give me 1 second here. Let me see. I think I brought, yes, okay. Let me grab them. I brought my earrings that I had on last week, so I can show you here as well. So on the original earrings that I did that you seen last week, the bronze color here, that is my A bead. Okay, so we start in the center with that, and that is going to be the A bead. Your B bead is going to be everywhere the peach color is here on my piece. In the pattern, you'll see here that she actually used 3 different colors of yellow, so it kind of variegated itself out. First time you do it, 1 color is highly suggested. And again, you can see there where I did the peach. C is going to be our decreased spacers, is what she calls it. So on this one, my original sample, it's this kind of blue zircon, this darker blue color. Same thing here, this darker blue is her navy decreased spacers. And then your D color is going to be a peyote fill bead. So that's everywhere you see the red here in the pattern and everywhere you see that mint green here on this one. So that will give you an idea of where your colors are going to go. And again, I highly suggest doing just 4 colors to start your pattern with. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So the 3-round hexagon decrease progression is going to be marked with blue C spacers that sit in the valleys and D fill beads that bracket them in. So I'm not going to go over a whole lot of this because I want you to get started on this. The one thing I do want you to see and do want to take note of are the original designers. So the flat star came to Susannah Thompson's hands in 2021. And then Catherine Shriver has kind of played into it. And Karen Benningfield and Catherine Shriver have also kind of contributed to this. So these are going to be the original designers for the project. And we greatly thank them for allowing us to be able to use this to teach the project. So this is an intermediate project. If you are a beginner, it's okay. I'm going to go step by step and go through it. So hopefully we'll get through this today. She says use a medium tension, and when your star has reached the desired size, weave in the starting and working threads and trim them cleanly. So this star here that I have done, this is made exactly by the pattern, all right? So you can see here the length of my star is about, it's almost 1 3/4, and it's about 1.5 inches wide that way. So that is going to be the size of the star by the pattern. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do my best to answer questions, but at the same time, I'm going to try not to talk too excessively so that we can kind of get through the pattern. So the first thing, step 1, says we are going to string 6A and pass through twice. So it says pass through the circle twice with no knot, leaving a 6-inch tail. Don't pull the starting thread snug until the star shape is established in later rounds. So I'm going to go step by step through the pattern as I start to work. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Set my camera up a little bit more. There we go. So to start out, I'm using DB200 for my A bead. Since this is not my pattern, I am going to tell you the colors that I am using today. So I'm starting with 6 of those beads. So 2, 4, and 6. Okay. So I bring these down. She says to leave about a 6-inch tail thread. So I'm going to leave this little bit of a tail thread here. And she says pass through it twice. So I've added the beads. I'm going to go through them. And guys, when she says don't tie it, there's a reason and a purpose. We say don't tie these things because we need this to be a little bit loose when we go to do this next couple of rounds, because if not, it is going to be super wavy. So you want to make sure that you just go through these beads, because without putting the knot in there, this will allow us to be able to loosen this up if need be and not be so tight. So I've gone through it twice. That's step 1. Step 2, place 2 A beads between each of the 6 beads in the circle and step up, emerging between the first 2 increase beads placed. So we're only going to do increases here. We're going to be putting on 2 A's at a time and pass through the center bead, so that we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of these. So that means pick up 2 A's, and I'm going to go through the very next A. So I'm not skipping anything. And Sammy is on with me today. He just posted a link in the chat section to the original pattern. So if you did not get a chance to grab the pattern, or you're joining me late, then he is putting links in for the pattern. Now, when you do this, it may be a little wonky, and that's okay. The first couple of rows are always the hardest. Okay, so far I have 3 here. Your biggest thing is you want them to lay like herringbone almost. We want them, see how they're laying side by side like that, and that's what we want. Now, if I would have tied this into a circle, at this point, I would have been having major issues trying to work with my pieces. But since we did not tie it, it allows us to be able to leave it a little bit looser so that we can work with it a little bit better. Now, when I go through the last bead of the circle, I'm going to go ahead and do a step up. So I'm coming through the last bead of the circle here, but then I'm going to step up by going through the bead that is right above it. That's the first bead that I added in that little circle of beads, so that I finish and step up at the same time. And so when I do, I'm going to have just a clump of beads, okay? Until you get the pattern started, It's going to look just, like I said, like a hot mess. It's going to be clumpy, but I promise you, trust the process. Okay, step 3, increases only. This round also places only increased beads. Place a new 2-bead increase on top of each of the 6 previous increases placed in round 2 and step up, emerging between the first 2 increased beads placed. So this tells us we're doing increases only. We're going to be putting on 2 A's at a time, and then PT is passing through. So again, we're just going to build 2 beads above each of the ones that we just did. So again, I'm using A beads, still using A's. So I pick up 2 A's, and I'm going to come through the A right next to the one that my thread is coming out. Then I come through the first bead of my next set of 2 that I added with the increases in the previous row. Pick up 2 A's. I'm going to come down through the A right next to where my thread is coming out. Velvet Gen 16, are you able to make your camera focus? Mine, I'm actually watching it on YouTube as well, and it's focused. It goes in and out of focus a little bit because I'm using white beads, but that will change. So if yours is very blurry, then you might want to log out and log back in. Once I do that, now I'm going to come up through the next bead here on that first set of 2. And come down through the next bead. And you can see now we're starting to get that shape, that star shape. So I come up through the next bead there, that first bead of the set of 2. Pick up 2 beads. And India's saying this is a lot similar to my starfish. India, the thing about it is almost every geometric shape starts out with either warp squares, triangles, anything like that. So almost everything starts out the same exact way. So it's how you embellish and how you increase, how you decrease, how you do things like that that changes up the pattern. So pick up 2, go down. And what did I do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I only pick up 1 bead right there? Oh, no, there we go. That last bead. My last little set of beads was kind of tucked back, so it looks a little funny there. So that's what I was checking. Because at this point now, you will have 6 of our little guys. So this is where it's going to trip some of you up, and this is where you really want to pay attention. When you come to the very last little piece here, you have to step up through 2 beads. All right, this is the 2 beads right here that I'm going to step up through because this was the first set of beads I put on for this row here. And so I have to go up through 2 beads. If you come right up through that top bead right there, what's going to happen is you are going to end up with a wonky star. So make sure you get those increases correct. All right. Now, after that is step 3. Okay, it says we will continue to place 2 A increase beads at the tip of each point for every round. In round 4, the hexagon decrease cycle starts in the valleys with the placement of the first C spacers. The decrease will neatly define the valleys with its unique thread path and will keep the star flat as the beading progresses. Use a medium tension. That needs to be highlighted. Use a medium tension. All right, so then that means step 4 here, increase with spacers. So this means I'm going to be picking up 2 A's for my increases, and I'm going to be adding C spacers. So it says place 2 bead triangle increases atop each point and a C spacer in between each top set of increased beads from step 3. Step up through the final increase. Now is a good time to gently pull the center thread snug, weave it into the work, and trim so that it's out of the way. So what this means is we're going to start putting in some of our C beads. So the first thing we have to do is we pick up 2 A's, and we're going to take the needle and come down through the very next A that's right next to where our thread is coming out. Okay, then we're going to pick up C. For my C bead, I'm using 47, 047. So it's the silver line blue. And I'm going to come up through the top bead of my next increase. So that now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be popping a bead right in the middle of those. I'm going to pick up 2 A's and come down through the next A. Pick up a C, come through the top bead of my next increase section. And at this point, it's really going to start taking shape. That's the fun thing about it right now, because it's really going to start taking that shape that we want. It's not going to be a blob anymore, Wendy. 2 A's. I can already tell I'm going to have to take my bracelet off. This is like the 3rd time it's got caught on my bracelet. Come down through the very next A. I'm going to pick up a C. This is my increase. So I pick up a C and I come through the top bead there. And now I'm just going to continue on 2 A's at each increase. And then a C. So again, if you're just joining, Sammy has posted again the link to the pattern. So if you did not grab the pattern, you can go to Kate McKinnon's geometric website and get it. Yep. Okay, hang on guys, this bracelet's got to go. Okay, there we go. Now, just like any other increase pattern that we do, when you come to the very end of the row and I pick up the last C, I have to make sure that I step up through 2 beads. So I'm stepping up through the 2 beads here. So this is the first bead that I put on for the row, and then the first bead in that previous row. Can't really give you any knowledge about the thread yet, India. I think I'm going to have to do the whole project to kind of be able to give knowledge on the thread yet. It takes about 6 or 8 projects really to kind of figure out what's good about a thread and bad about a thread. So, okay, step 5, increases plus fill beads. So this in the bracket means each increase is going to pick up 2 A's, and then on each little section I do, I'm going to put in 2 D's. So it says place 2 bead increases atop every point and peyote stitch 1 D on either side of the C spacer. Excuse me. Step up at the 6th point. So for my D, I'm using 35, 035. So I'm picking up 2 A's. I'm coming down through the very next A that I have there so that it works an increase. And now I pick up a D and I go through the C. And then I pick up a D and I come through the top bead of the next increase. So when I do that, it makes almost a V shape, just like that. So again, it's 2 A's, and I come down through the very next A, and then I pick up a D, go through the C. All right, let's see. Got my first knot. All right, that one pulled out pretty easy. And pick up a D and go through the top bead of the next increase. Wendy, I agree. It's fun to see as a pattern is coming along. Joy, she just got up. It's 9 a.m. in California. Well, girlfriend, you better enjoy that because you're going to be 3 hours behind next week when you come to visit me. Okay. All right, so one thing that I'm noticing about the S-Lon is you have to be almost like it's almost like our 1G. We have to take the twist out of it every once in a while because I'm getting some little knots, and that's kind of letting me know that that's what's going on. I'm so glad all of you joined me today. I hope that you will definitely take the time to make a pair of these because they are so fun. And there are so many free patterns that you can get on that Contemporary Geometric Beadwork page. So I highly recommend that you definitely check those out. I'm trying to be as loose as I possibly can, but I think this one's still going to come out wavy just because of the thread. Now, here's the thing. When we come to, let me get the little tail thread away. When we come to the last bead, I put in this last D here. Make sure to remember that we have to step up through 2 beads at the end. So we have to go through the 2 beads here to get the correct step up. So that when we do, that is what it looks like. And yeah, this one I can tell, even though I'm trying to be as loose as I can, I think it's still going to turn out wavy. For me, I think I'm going to absolutely have to be able to do this with a 1G type thread. Okay. Now that puts us at step 5. Step 5, increases in fill beads. So this means at each increase we're going to put in, no, that's what we just did. Never mind, we're on step 6. Y'all got to keep up with me. Come on now. Okay, increases, peyote, and pass-through decreases. So what this means, we're going to put on 2 A's at each of our increase. We are going to thread on a B, and we're going to pass through the D, and then pick up a B. So it says place 2 bead increases atop every point. Peyote stitch B beads along the sides of each point and pass through both D beads in each valley without adding a bead between them. The pass-through threads in this pattern cross the C spacers. And it says the 2 bead triangle increases and peyote fabric build consistently in every round, while the hexagon decrease progression changes over a 3-round cycle. Round 7 will begin the progression again with the C spacers. So I got to keep this right here since I started so much here. First thing, we're going to put on our 2 A's. This is our point, so we put on 2 A's. Okay, so that's our point. Now, it says I'm going to pick up a B, and I'm going to pass through the D that I have in place, and then the next D. So I'm not adding anything here. I am just passing through those 2 beads. Now I pick up a D, or a B, and I come through the top. So you'll see here, now I've added the B, I've went through the 2 D's, and I've added the B. So now I'm back to a point, so it's 2 A's for my point. Pick up a B, and then I'm going to go through both D's. So if I can go through them both at once, you can go through both of those so that it pops that bead into place. And now you pick up a B and go through the next point. And you can see there what it's starting to look like. So I hope that this is going to be really helpful to you guys, that I'm reading the step as you go through step by step. I am reading it and then doing the steps. So I really hope this helps you to be able to understand the lingo of the pattern, because the lingo is a little bit different than a lot of you are used to. So I hope that this helps you be successful at this project. Now remember, when we put on our last B for the round, you have to make sure that you step up through 2 beads. So when you do that, that is what you have. So that was step 6. So step 7 says we are going to work increases, peyote, and spacers. So the lingo of the pattern, I'm going to put 2 A's at my points, and then I'm going to have a B, a C, and a B. So A's at my point, a B, and go through the B that's in place, and then a C, and when I pick up the C, I skip the 2 D's that are in place, and I'm going across to the C over on the other side. So it's going to make almost like a little bridge here between those beads. Then you pick up a B and go through your points. It's starting to come together now. We're starting to see the patterns. That's the fun part, when it finally starts to come together. So on our points, remember it's 2 A's, a B and go through the B, a C, and I skip the 2 D's here and I go across to the C and go through it so it builds that little bridge, and then another B, and I come through just like that. All right, I got a thread caught here. When you start to get more length to your increase or your points, that's where you're going to have to start being careful about your thread getting caught on those points. So if you notice, a lot of times as I pull through the beads, I'll keep my fingers on there. Yeah, Sharon, that's what I said at the beginning of the video. It's best for this piece to go ahead and just watch me. Don't try to stitch along with me. Just watch me and then go back so that you can pause and go through and take your time on this one that you do. So I'm back to the start of my row here. So again, I hate to kind of throw this out there, and I hate to harp on it, but make sure you step up at the end of the row through the 2 beads. Audrey said, "Could this pattern be made with larger beads?" Yes, Audrey, it means you need to use Delicas on your first go round. You can use 8. Anything other than that, it's really going to make it wonky. So just be aware. Step 8, increases, peyote, and fill beads. So again, with the lingo, this tells us on each point we're going to pick up 2 A's. We are going to pick up a B, then 2 D's, and a B. And the thing that I love here is she tells you, and then she shows you this. Sunny, yes, you are, but she said, at this point, aren't you just doing peyote? Yes, because what you're doing is you're working increases, you're doing peyote, and you're doing decreases. So yes, that's basically your shape. So again, point is 2 A's. So I pick up 2A and I come down through the next A. Then I pick up a B, go through the next B, and now this is where I pick up a D. So when I pick up the D, I go through the B, or I'm sorry, the C, this blue one here that was in place, and then I pick up another D, and I come through the B, and then I pick up a B and come through the point. So again, because this one we're adding more beads, so we pick up 2 of the A's and come down through the A. we pick up a B and go through the B that's sticking up. Then we pick up a C. We go through, no, I'm sorry. Please don't get confused. Pick up a D, my silver, and I'm going through the C, which is my blue, because these are our fill beads. Now pick up a D, go through the B, which is the red in my pattern, and then pick up a B and go through the point. I'm loving the way this one's looking. I like this color scheme. It's fun for Memorial Day. For us, you know, here in the States, for Memorial Day and 4th of July. For people who live in some other countries, this would be great for, you know, representation of your flag colors as well. Or just do it in your favorite colors. Hey, Harriet. I'm glad to see you on here, sweet pea. I get to see you in a couple of weeks, don't I? Coming to my retreat. Lisa, hello, friend. Lisa just jumped in. Okay, I've got one little set here left to add. And if you're just jumping in, I am working on the flat peyote star that is from the Contemporary Geometric Beadwork. There are links to the pattern. It's a free pattern, so make sure you go in and get it. We're walking step by step through the pattern. Okay, I'm back to the start. So when I add this last B bead, I have to make sure to step up. So when I step up, I go through 2 beads here at the very end. That is the step up. Hello, James. Popping in. Okay, and Sammy just posted a link to the pattern again. So this is what it's going to look like after row 8. Row 9, this is where we're going to work increases. We're going to do some peyote, and then we're going to do pass-through decreases. So again, this means on our points, we're going to pick up 2 A's. Then we'll be picking up 2 B's. We're going to pass through the D, and then we are going to be picking up 2 B's. And it says the decrease cycle begins again in round 10 with increasing numbers of peyote beads placed in each round as the beaded fabric grows. So find the illustrations for 10 through 13 on the next page. So step 9, you can see here, we've got our increases, our 2 B's, passing through those D's, and then 2 B's here. This is where you're really going to start to see more of your B color come into play. Patty says she loves my ring. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. This is one that I actually did during COVID. It must have been like the week, maybe Memorial Day that year. So, yes, it's on YouTube, so you can go back and check that out. Now, when I pick up the B this time, remember, this is where we're passing through to do a decrease. So I have to go through the 2 D's that are in place. So I'm not picking those up. I'm just picking up a B and passing through, passing through those. And if I sound stopped up or I'm coughing or anything like that, it's because the pollen count is so high right now here, and my allergies are just all over the place. So again, it's 2 A's in the corners. And we don't have too many more rows to go. That's the great thing about this project. Now we pick up a B and go through the B. Pick up a B, and this time we pass through the 2 D's that are in place. So make sure, like I went through 2 D's and a B there. So there we go. And then I pick up a B and go through the B. And then pick up a B and go through, look, I didn't pick that up. You see that right there? So it must have fell off my needle. We'll just pop that one back in place. So I'm just going to keep working around here. It's going to feel like it flies together the first couple of rounds because you're working with just a few counts of beads. But as we start to get on this step 9 here, we're adding more beads in each row. So it's going to feel like at this point it's going to take you a little bit longer to do, but you're going to do it. It's going to be wonderful. Because, I mean, you're already at step row 9, and I think there's only 13 rows. So, Celia, this is very doable. Very, very, very doable. And like I said, with me reading straight from the pattern, you're going to learn the lingo, and you'll be able to do this absolutely. Just hit the pause button, pause me when you need to after the live, and work each row. I don't think I picked up a bead there. Oh my goodness. Me and this thread, I am not. Hold on. All right, so this is going to put this to the test as to when you make a mistake and pull it. Okay, look right here. See what happened? I think Allie's just spoiled me with my dragon thread. I think for people who love nanofill and who are really used to nanofill and stuff like that, I think that you'll love this thread. For me, I don't know. I'm going to keep playing with it though. Like I said, it takes about 6 projects to really understand it. Meg says, I've never followed along before and just found your shop. Well, welcome, Meg. Will there be a place to show pictures of what you've come up with? Well, Meg, if you go to my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, and you look under step-by-step tutorials, I have a ton of tutorials on there. There's a lot free, and there's some that, are paid. And then I have over 700 videos here on YouTube. So there's lots of content for you to find, Meg. Lots and lots of new content for you to look at and play with. And I don't normally do live step-by-steps like this, but last week in my live that I did, I had some people ask specifically for me to show this project. So that's why we're going step-by-step through this project live. Plus, I want to give you an accurate time of, hey, these, you'll be able to see, hey, this took Kelly, an hour to make one of these or however long, so it may take me just a little bit longer. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning. I started out with 2 yards of thread, and I still have plenty of that left. So you can probably get by with a little bit less, but I would rather have too much. So 1 bead, and then I go through, this is my step up. So remember, at the end of each round, we step up through two of the beads there. So at the end of round 9, this is what my piece looks like. Now, the thing is, with mine, it's not completely flat because I'm a super tight stitcher and I'm trying to be easy with it, but I just don't want it to be wavy, okay? So if it's wavy, you're pulling it way too tight and you just need to loosen up. Continue adding rounds until your start is the desired size. We built our demo out to 13 rounds of work. So this is what 13 rounds looks like. So step 10, we're going to increase, we're going to peyote, and we're going to put in some spacers. So in the points, I'm going to be putting on 2 A's, then I'll put on 2 B's, a C, and 2 B's. Lisa, I am testing out that new Eslon fire thread that has come out. I got it in last week. I sold it all in a day or two. So I've got more on order, and this is just my first time trying it. So I always do about 6 to 8 projects before I say yay or nay on a thread. So that was 2 A's. Now we'll put on 2 B's. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to put on 2 B's at the same time. That just means I'm picking up a B, going through a B, picking up a B, going through a B, and then I'm going to pick up a C. Remember, this is our spacer that we're adding to give us almost an increase here. So I pick up that spacer, I'm coming out of this B, and I come across to the next B, and I go through that one so that it pops that bead into place. Now I pick up a B, come through the next B, and then pick up a B and come through the points. So again, at this point, you can do as many rounds as you want to make this as big as you want to. Or, you could have totally stopped at the end of that row if you wanted to. I like the way the 13 rounds looks. So I'm just going to do that 13 rounds. So I'm on 10 right now. And I'm just going to follow the pattern exactly. So that way, if you're following the pattern, you will be able to go step by step with me. Let's see, Caroline, I am using a size 11 Delica bead, and I'm using 4 colors. And my husband, Sammy, actually just posted in the chat the direct link to the pattern. And it's a free pattern, so make sure to get it. Definitely going to have to make the second one of this one for the 4th of July. I love this color. Sandy Sanders says hello from sunny Charleston, South Carolina. Hello, hello. I love your city. Absolute love. Charleston, South Carolina. You have the best used bookstore in Mount Pleasant. The best used bookstore. I could spend all day in that little hole in the wall. It's out near Sullivan's, not Sullivan's. It's out closer to Poe's Tavern when you go out that way, if I remember correctly. Hello, Donna Berry. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm about halfway around on this round. So like I said, when you get to this point, it's going to take you a little bit longer because you're having to add more beads in each round. So the first couple of rounds are going to fly by, and then as you get a little further out, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you is I would just definitely suggest I don't see this when I get mine done being flimsy, but I know some people are going to be really, really, really loose on theirs, and your piece may feel flimsy. So if it feels flimsy, you can definitely use some sort of stiffener, like a floor wax or any other type thing that is on the market that you can use to stiffen your project. The thing is, you don't want to use too much of it, because if you are using a dyed, D-Y-E-D, you are using a dyed bead, it's going to make your color come off of your beads. So you want to be careful about that. Okay, so I'm on the last little point here, and I know I'm on that last point because I need to go through 2 beads here on the end. So I was able to visually know automatically that I needed to add, or that was my step up, just because it looked higher than all the other rounds that I had done at this point. Yes, Laura, it will tighten it up, but you, again, have to be careful because you don't want to do it too tight. This is a delicate dance, honestly. You don't want to do it too tight or it's going to be wavy. Very, very delicate dance on this one. So that was step 10. Step 11 says we are going to do increases, we are going to do peyote, and we are going to have fill beads. So again, at each point, I'm going to have 2 A's. Then I'm going to be putting on 2B, 2D, and 2B. So if you look at the diagram here, you'll notice I have the 2 A's here on the ends. I'm adding 2 B's, that's the beads here. I'm adding 2 D's, that's the red ones. Then 2 B's, and then 2 A's there in the point. So again, this is round 11. Hey, Miss Shirley Moore. I bet things are ramping up down your way. I bet traffic is becoming a nightmare. Jenny, that's a great idea. Jenny says she thinks she'll make it in a pin in honor of her dad who was in Pearl Harbor. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, pick up a D, go through the B that's in, or the C, that blue bead there that's in place. Then pick up a D and come through your next B. Okay, so, darn it, I think I pierced the thread. Okay, now, here, I want you to listen. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but I want you to listen. I don't even know if I'm going to get it off the needle. Hold on. Shoot. Look, I got one of those curved needles. Somebody wants to buy one. Oh. Okay. So, it did that to my 12th needle, trying to take it off. I'm going to have to cut the end here. That end is frayed. And I think I'm going to bump up to a size 10 needle because that 12 was, this is the 6 pound. It was hard to thread. Oh, before I fix it, hold on. You hear it? I don't know, like I can physically hear, I can hear it. It's weird. And I have hearing aids in, y'all, so for those of you who have excellent hearing, you'll really be able to hear it. Okay, the size 10 was easier to thread. It was much, much, much easier to thread. Let's try it again here. There we go. So I picked up 2 B's, 1 and 2. Then when I got here, I picked up a D and went through the C, and then picked up a D and went through the B. So now I'm back to picking up those B's again. Okay, Lisa said she heard it good. Laura, I know, she's yelling at me through her screen. Take the bead off. I do that when I watch TV. I'm screaming at the people, going, don't go in there, or whatever. Okay, so I'm getting lots of little tiny knots, but the thing with the knots, they're pulling right out. So that's one plus, definitely. And you'll notice now, the more rows that we're adding, the more that we're really seeing that B color come into place. So to me, that's a really important color, because if you pick a color for that one that you're on the fence about. No, Shirley, I did not wax the thread because the thread is already waxed. It has, it's hard to explain, honestly. I wish all of you could have little samples of the thread to try, because what it is, it says it's braided and fused. And it is braided because when you run your fingers along it, and I don't know, you can almost see the braid. Because you can kind of see it here on this bottom thread a little bit. But you can feel the braid. You can see the braid in it, but it's slick. It feels a little slick like a fire line. But so far, I've pierced it once, but it pulled right out. And like I said, I'm getting a little, like some little tiny knots, but they're pulling right out. Oh, Erica, that's a good idea. She said change the blue and silver to green and black, and she sees Santa's coat for Christmas. Yes, that would be super cute. Super, super cute. See, y'all are coming up with some great ideas while y'all watch me finish out my rounds here. The biggest thing is when you pull your beads through, just make sure you're just popping them into place. You're not pulling with all your might. Don't be mad at somebody while you're working on this project, or unless you want a wavy star, and then have at it. Okay, I've got one more section, and then I'll be over to my increase, and then we'll be on row 12 of the pattern. Okay, Becky, let me see what she says here. Love the green, blue, and salmon colorway on page 9. Is it a different color on every row? Okay, I will check that, Becky, and see. Okay, now remember, last bead is a row, so I have to do the step up. So I come through 2 beads there on that step up. Okay, let me check this on page 9 really quickly. Yes, Becky, I believe you're talking about this one right here. And yes, it looks like every row she's just picking up a different color. So, absolutely. Okay, step 12. We are going to work increases, peyote, and then PT is pass through decrease. So, 2 A's on the point. This row we're going to be putting on 3 B's. Then we are going to pass through the D's and put on 3 B's. So in our lingo here, this means we're picking up 2 of our A's and going down through the next A. Then it says we're going to thread on 3 B's. So again, that doesn't mean that we're going to thread those on all at one time. That just means we pick up a B, go through a B 3 times. So I've got 1, 2, and then this third one, when I pick it up, I pass through my 2 D beads, which are my 2 silver beads here in the pattern. So that now I'm over to the other side, and I put on 3 of the B's. So that's 1, 2, and then when I add the third one, I'm coming through the end A here. So it looks like that. So I'll do that one again. So it's 2 A's, come down through the next A, then a B, come through a B, come through a B, and this time when I put on the B, I'm going through 2 of the D's. So I go through a D, I skip a B, or a C here, that blue, and then I go through the D. So I go straight across through those 2 D beads. And Lord, I know somebody's going to comment and say, can't you get it in control? Can't you say, quit getting confused on the D's and the B's and all of this kind of stuff? But it's when you got D's and B's and all that, it's hard because if I say go through the red or go through the blue, somebody's not doing red or blue at home. So doing my best here. Doing my best. So now I'm go through the 2D on this row. So PT on the pattern, pass through our D's. Halfway done with the row, and then we'll be on the last row. And if you look again at the bottom of page 8 on the row that we're doing right now, you'll see there's a blank diagram there. So if you want to design your own star, so Becky, that is where the blank diagram is going to come in really handy for you. So if you want to do something with multiple colors that are going to be like that one on page 9 that you've seen, you can definitely create your own with those diagrams. And I believe that was on page 1 as well of the pattern. So now I believe, I can't remember, but I believe that Laura has done the next version of this flat 6-pointed star, and that is doing it in a spiral. So it almost has a slinky form to it, and it's really cool if you actually see one in person. They're really, really fun. I don't know what you would, like, jewelry that you would necessarily make to wear with it. I'm sure you could do a necklace or something like that, but it's very cool just to do it and say you've done it.
It's currently cloudy and 70 degrees. Expect partly cloudy skies starting tonight. Temperatures are heading down from 71 to 63 degrees tonight.
Okay, I'm almost to my step up. I'm on the last little section here. The one, like, super positive thing I am going to say about this thread so far, it pulls through the beads very, very smoothly. It pulls it through super smooth. So that is the one really nice thing. Okay, that is after 12 rounds. So round 13, Patricia, I promise you, go back to the beginning of the video, watch it, and you'll see. It's not as hard as it's looking at this point, okay? The last row, step 13, we're working increases, we're working peyote, and you are putting in some spacers. So again, with the lingo, this means we're going to put in 2 A's in our point, 3 B's, a C, and 3 B's. So that's got a little line here. That's our diagram we'll follow. So I'm working on the last row. Oh. So 2 A's. Now remember, when she says 3 B's, I'm not putting on the 3 B's at one time. I am picking up a B, coming through a B, picking up a B, coming through a B, picking up a B, coming through the B, and then this is where we're going to pop in a C. So we pick up a C, and we come across to that next B, and we go through that B so that it puts that bead in place, just like that. Now, 3 B's. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's see, who just said that? Sharon. Sharon said so many design variations to be made. Yes, there absolutely is. And Sharon, if you look on the pattern, I believe it's back over on page 1, you'll notice that there are a couple of design variations there that start out this exact same way, but will look very different depending on how many rows that you work. So definitely make sure to check those graphs out. But they're all basically made the same way. We start out the same way, start out the same rows. It's just how we finish off these ends that give it a different look. At any time, I could have stopped and gotten rid of this thread, but I've got to stitch it through, and I don't want to take the time to do that since we're live. So I'll do that after we finish with the live. I'll stitch it through and get rid of that thread. If you wanted to, at this point as well, yes, I'm actually going to back this up and do that. One thing that I did different than what the pattern calls for, it's the only thing I did different. On this round, this 13th round, you'll notice here, instead of putting in 2 beads, here I only put in 1 bead on each point, so it gives it a point. So I'm actually going to take my needle off, and I'm going to pull off the beads that I've added so far in this round, because I want to do that as well with this part. So if you're going to add more rows, then don't do that at this point. Go ahead and um, do exactly by the pattern, but I want to have points. So I'm going to pull back just two little sections here so that I can show you that. Okay, so this is the start of step 13 again. Okay, you can see into my thread is a little bit frayed, so I'm just going to press it back together. Okay, thread my needle is much, much better. Okay, so instead of picking up 2 on the points at this point, I'm only going to pick up 1 bead so that when I come through the next bead, I have a point. Okay, so I have a legit point. So that's the only thing that I've done different from the pattern so far is I'm just doing, look, that 1 bead stayed in there. I'm just going to do that one thing different. Well, hello, Miss Loretta. I hope you're having a great spring so far. I haven't seen you, talk to you in a while. Okay, so again, when I come to the next increase here, I'm only going to pick up 1A so that it makes the point. So see how different it looks now by just putting in those 2 points? Looks completely different. So that's the fun part. Now the only thing you have to decide at this point, is this going to be a pendant or is this going to be earrings or what is this going to be? What are you going to make it? I did mine into earrings, and to make it into an earring, all you have to do is on one of the little points right here, all I did was I went in and I added some size 15 seed beads to make a loop, and then I just hung it from my ear wire. So that is one thing that you will need to decide what you want to make into it. Like, what's it going to be for you? A keychain, like, so this is how it looks by putting in 1 bead by the 3 year. And remember, you guys, you can watch the repeat. It will never go off of YouTube, so just keep watching the repeat, hitting the pause button, go as slow or as fast as you need to on it. But I know that each and every one of you will be able to do this. I know it. I know you will be. And if I'm actually going to remind you that this coming Friday, June, I believe it's the 2nd. Let's see, Friday, June the 2nd, 2023 is our free shipping Friday. So if you spend over $15 and have your package shipped within the United States, you get free USPS shipping. Along with the free shipping, you are also going to get a physical copy of the pattern that I did last week on the live for the Notino bracelet. And you're going to get a coupon that you can use later on in the month. So it would be a great time to stock up on Friday because you get free shipping. And you get a free pattern. Free pattern and a coupon. So almost got it, guys. Almost to the end here. And then I got to go get some lunch. My stomach is growling. I can't believe that y'all haven't heard my stomach growling. Erica, my actual bead store is no longer physically open full time with regular hours anymore, honestly, because of the fact that our online business continues to grow, and I was staying more stressed out than ever trying to keep up with both businesses. So now our physical store is only open by appointment. So we try to accommodate. We will do appointments every day except for Sunday, but you can make an appointment to come in to the store and shop whenever you would like. Kathy Smith said, is it a lot harder to do 3D versions like boxes? Honestly, Kathy, no. It is, you're doing the same thing. It's just in a three-dimensional form. So I don't believe so. So that is good. And Aaliyah says, do you sell your work? If you do, where? No, I do not, honestly, because I don't have time. I spend all of my time creating new projects for you guys, so it's hard for me to do it and sell it. Um, so, okay, last bead I'm putting in. So, let's see here. I'm going to pop it in place by going through the previous row bead and then my point bead. And at this point, this is where I would go in and I would add my 15s at the top. And I believe for this one, I added 7 15s here on the topper for this earring to hold my ear wire. And you can see there how wildly different they look, but they're a lot of fun to do. So you would just add that, do your ear wire, get rid of that short tail on the back, and make sure you weave through a few beads before you cut that off. Okay, make sure you do that, and I'm going to flip the camera around really quickly so it is you get motion sickness. Please look away for just a minute. Okay, so new project for you to make. The only thing left on the pattern is page 9. Page 9, and I'll let you read this here on the tailoring of the project so that you can kind of do whatever you want there. But the great thing is, if you look on page 9, she shows you your rows that you're putting on. Each of these little blue beads with the number is a row that we put on. And remember, the only thing I did different was on row 13 is I only put in 1 bead here instead of the 2 beads. Also, remember on page 1, you have your graphs. So if you want to do your own thing, you can absolutely do your own thing. Now, three fun things. Okay, number 1 is if you will pay attention to my website a little bit later this week, I am going to put on basically a bead along. So if you have never done a kaleidocycle, I told her, I said, I will never make a kaleidocycle, and I am going to have to eat my words because Kate told me I need to make one. I need to make a kaleidocycle. If you have no idea what that is, go check out the Contemporary Geometric Beadwork site. People were doing them for the longest time. I swore I was never going to do it. And it's one of those things you never say that because that's what you have to do. You end up doing it. So Kate told me, Kelly, do it. So I'm going to do one. We're going to do it as a bead along. So on the website later this week, I'm going to have information about that bead along. I'm also going to put it into our email of this week, the dates that we're going to be doing it. And basically, the reason I'm doing it as a bead along is because I want to keep myself accountable so that I will finish this project as well. So basically, we are going to follow Kate's exact directions, her no-fail kaleidocycle directions. We're going to make our triangles exactly by her patterns, and then we're going to make it into this beautiful kaleidocycle. So some of that I'll be doing live, some of it through email, some of it on our Facebook. So watch for that. The other thing is I'm going to be doing a Zoom. It's going to be a completely free Zoom, but you have to sign up. It's not going to be recorded, all right? So if you sign up, you need to come to it if you want to do it. I'm going to give you tips, tricks, and solutions for things on my website. So I'm going to show you really some cool ways you can kind of get around things on the website, ways to search really well, ways to put things in certain orders. So that is going to be listed on my website later on this week as well. It's going to be under the classes category. It's going to be completely free, but the only way you will need be able to know what we're doing is if you come to it. We're going to do it over Zoom. So that will be nice as well to do that one. And then just a reminder again that Free Shipping Friday is coming up this Friday, June 2nd, 2023, over at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, where if you spend $15 or more, you get free USPS shipping here within the United States. You're going to get a coupon in your package to use later in the month, and you are going to get a pattern, a free pattern. And in the pattern that I'm going to email or send you is going to be for the Notino bracelet that I did last week. So I hope that you guys will do that. Thank you to each and every one of you who followed me live today. I hope this helps you greatly. And if you get a chance, please, please, please go in and email Kate through her website. The link for the pattern, Sammy has put it several times through the chat. But shoot her an email, tell her thank you for being an open source, that we can do this and I can teach you guys how to do this without having to do anything. So make sure to tell her thank you as well if you get a chance. I appreciate all of you. I wish you a happy Memorial Day. And please come back next week where we'll do another fun project. You guys have a wonderful day, a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.